Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Lynn Drake. I'm with Compass Commercial. And this afternoon, I have Jackie LaDuke. How are you doing, Jackie?
Good. How are you?
Thank you. Jackie is with Spalding D. Decker, and she specializes in roof assessments. And if you are buying a new building or doing a long-term lease, you really want to have someone like Jackie on your side. So Jackie went to Western Michigan University in Kalamazoo, Michigan for her undergraduate, and then she has a master's of construction engineering management from Lawrence Technology in Southfield, Michigan. Wow, that's a tough school, isn't it?
Yes.
And you have a whole bunch of initials after your name. Why don't you share what these all mean?
So I'm an RRO, which is a registered roof observer. I am a lead AP, which is a lead accredited professional, and a CIT, which is a certified infrared thermographer.
And is there an AP?
Is there what? I'm sorry.
An AP?
The AP is for accredited professional.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, good. So we are going to talk about roofs. Let's get going. So can you talk to us, describe what kind of roof systems there are out there, and how long do those things last?
So there are two different roof systems. There's a steep slope roof covering and a low slope roof covering. The steep slopes are anything over a 2 and 12 slope. So most of the time you could recognize these as asphalt shingles, wood shakes, metal panels, anything that you can really see from the ground. Those would be considered a steep slope covering. Then we have a low slope covering, which is generally what covers office buildings throughout Michigan. The low slope buildings have three different types of roof systems. There's a built-up roof, which is a multi-ply field assembled roof system over the insulation. It's very labor intensive. It's about a 1/2 inch thick to a 3/4 inch thick. And it's generally covered with an aggregate surface. We have a modified bitumen type roof system, which is a little less in thickness, but it's also field applied. It's usually applied in 2 different layers. Okay. Most people would refer to it as roll roofing because they're about 3 foot wide sheets, and you put them on in the field over the insulation. And lastly, we have a single ply system, which is exactly the way that it sounds. It's one membrane over the layers of insulation that's installed. That's generally the most economic roof system that we see, most popular because it's very economic. And these 3 different roof systems generally last anywhere between 15 and 35 years. And those are in perfect aging conditions. So without any disruption to the aging condition, that's what we could generally expect out of each of these roof systems.
So usually when I'm out looking at buildings, I usually run across the flat roof, which was the third one you talked about.
Yes.
And they can be rather difficult to repair, right?
Sometimes they can, yes, depending on what type of material you're using, yes.
Right, because if they get a hole or something, you have to figure out where the hole's coming from, right?
That's right.
It's one flat membrane going across the whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and sometimes it can be very easy, sometimes it can be very difficult, depending on what's on the surface of that membrane.
That's what we see most of the time. I'm just curious, what is the age difference for that one compared to the other 2? Is it last longer or less time?
Single ply membranes usually last a little less time. And it's generally because the weathering membrane is thinner than on a single ply membrane than it would be on a built up. Okay. So they tend to experience a little bit more accelerated aging than a thicker membrane.
Okay, so why is it important to know the condition of my roof system if I'm buying a building?
So it's very important to know the condition of your membrane. roof replacements are very expensive. Can be anywhere between 2 and 5% of the building cost. So these are huge costs and huge cost considerations when we're looking at buildings. So these are things that we need to take into consideration when we're buying a building or even just maintaining a building.
Mm-hmm.
When we look at that comparative to the life cycle of these roofs, we try to use that condition assessment to plan, financially plan when we need to replace or repair or try to extend the life of the existing system. So condition assessments can do just that. We can give you an inventory of what you have and a life cycle projection.
Which is very useful. Do you guys do the construction yourselves? You guys just inspect them?
No, we just inspect. We put together a set of plans and specifications, and we have the contractor follow those plans and specifications, answer any field questions, do any custom details, anything that really fits the building. And we make sure all of this is done within code and compliant with the conditions of the building.
Thank you. Why is it important to know the condition of my building's envelope?
So building envelope conditions are a little bit different than roofing. Roofing you tend to replace every 15 to 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
The exterior of the building and the exterior cladding of the building doesn't get replaced as often. So maintaining those structures, and it's integral to the structure of the building, maintaining those parts and pieces is really important because it's very costly to replace. So evaluating things like bed joints, mortar joints, building joints, any glazing, sealants, any possible drainage cavities or drainage problems or anything like that are issues that you don't necessarily see on the interior of the building, but can cause considerable damage on the exterior of the building. So it's very important to know those conditions as well.
Yep. Okay, once the roof BE assessment is completed, what are the next steps? I think you just kind of outlined that, right?
Right. You go through the condition report, you kind of gauge where you are in the lifespan and what kind of conditions that we're looking at. So what on a level of repair or damage we're looking at. And then we kind of use that as a jumping off point and put together options for repair after that. So that's where we go on our end of the spectrum.
Great. So Jackie, if somebody would like to contact your organization to have this important inspection done, who should they contact?
They can contact me for any of the commercial roofing or building envelope questions or any assessment needs that they want to look at. And my name again is Jackie LaDuke, and my email is jladuke, LADUKE @sda-eng.com.
Thank you, Jackie. This information, while it was short, is really crucial for anybody looking to purchase a building or sign a long-term lease. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Lynn.